and so excited to be back together, especially in the beginning of 2025. Like, we just have so many great things ahead of us. And what I love is that we still have access to our incredible products, right? So, if you are not all on our products, I encourage you to get in there, especially because I think 99% of them are back in stock. So, this program works better with the products in your body, okay? But just like we've heard, like Dr. Scott say and Peter say, you can't out supplement a good diet or a good exercise routine. And that's what this pledge is all about. It's bringing all of those things together with like-minded people in an incredible community. So I'm going to still be letting people in. And as I do that, if they can mute themselves out, that would be awesome. This is set up just a little bit different, so you might have to bear with me on this first go around, and we'll have it perfect or as close to perfect by next week. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Here we go. All right, guys, transformation coaching with Peter Nielsen. I'm excited. I know y'all are excited. Show us some love in the chat, okay? Now, what is Peter Nielsen's transformation coaching? You are going to get a 12-week coaching series empowering you. I love that. Empowering you to lose weight and tone up. Okay, that's the surface thing. That's what we want. But what I love is we're going to eat healthy. We're going to learn about micronutrient plans, right? This has always been my favorite. We're going to boost our confidence. And I say that, our confidence, all of us, okay? We're going to create a lifestyle change because we know that that's exactly what this is. It's a lifestyle change. Now, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, you will be invited to an exclusive Zoom just like this, right? For the transformation coaching participants. Now, give me a second, because again, I've got a waiting room going on here. Hold on, let me get some more people in here. It pays to be early, guys. All right, so meet the coach. This is always my favorite part because over the past decade, he has become a friend of mine. He's not just a mentor. He's not just somebody that I'm blessed to work with, learn from, but he is truly a friend of mine. So I get to brag on him just a little bit right here. So Peter Nielsen is a health and fitness expert, okay? Emphasis on the word expert. A life coach and author. He is the spokesperson for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. That is huge. That means he understands gut health. And we all know it begins with your gut, right? He holds 50 bodybuilding championship titles. Amongst that is like Mr. Universe, Mr. America, any title you can have, this man has worked hard to earn it and achieve it. So he's been named Trainer of the Year by Self and Muscle and Fitness magazines. And if that wasn't enough, he has syndicated TV and radio shows, but he also has podcasts and all kinds of different things. So this is a man of God. This is a man that cares about you. He will truly invest in you, your goals, and your outcome. However, you've got to do the work. So I just want to encourage you to do that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And Peter Nielsen, are you here?
I am in the house.
Check it out. We got the band back together.
I am so happy to be here. And all I can say is that 2025 is going to be an amazing year for each and every one of you. And when I was seeing people kind of just coming into this Zoom, I was seeing some old friends. seeing some new friends. And I think the word is beyond excited, but I'm hopeful. I know that each and every one of us have been through a very different, probably 2024. And for many of us, a lot of people have said that they felt short for 2024 and that they're hopeful for 2025. And all I can say is that if you speak life into yourself and if we walk and get better together and move forward,
Porque,
it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful experience. I think when it comes to the reasons why that we're even here, it's very, very important to understand your reasons why need to be greater than any fear, than any failure. Your reasons why are partially why you're here. So all I can say to each and every one of you is that as we go through these weeks, to be that better version of yourself, I'm going to be with you every step of the way. Today is what I call a kickoff. I want to explain through this next half hour, just plain simple and fun, on what we need to do and how we need to do it to truly be that best version of ourselves for 2025. Before we get started, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a gentleman that I say just is a steadfast leader. He's become a friend over the last 13 years. He is truly for the people. And I love him. I love his soul. I love what he does and what he stands for. And I would love to bring him on for our first 2025 Zoom when it comes to our 90-day transformation Z challenge. Is Jay Schaefer, the CEO of Zervita and founder. Is he in the house?
I am in the house.
Awesome.
I am here, Peter.
Well, I really appreciate you being here. And I know that this has been a very challenging year for so many people. I mean, we just had an election. We have half of the country that is just divided. And what I want to do over these next 3 months is create light and love and hope and joy and create unity. And I know that you've been working around the clock to do just that. So maybe you could give just a word of encouragement and just tell everyone that we are here to stay and we are excited about what 2025 is bringing towards us.
Yeah, Peter, thanks for the invite to the call. And it's so wonderful, really wonderful to see everybody again. This is like homecoming. Feels like a homecoming, like we're going back to our old hometown and we get to see everybody and people we haven't seen in a while. And you hear stories about what's happening to people, but then you can really connect direct. And so I just love this group. I love what you're trying to do here. And I'm a big believer in community. And I was talking to somebody the other day who was one of the founders in the very beginning of Weight Watchers. You guys all remember Weight Watchers. And they said that one of the reasons they were so successful was not necessarily the regimen of the program, which you got some real meat here, but it was the fact that everybody got together and they would meet. And so I just want to encourage everybody to continue meeting on the Wednesday nights because that's where the connection is. And this is incredible. And you can feel, at least I can, just the camaraderie and the single-mindedness. And Peter, you're right. It's been a crazy year in all facets. I talked to many of you personally. You've had crazy years, a crazy year. But let me just say this. I know in my gut and in my heart, and I've prayed a lot about this, I know things are going to turn around. I know that. I can't emphasize that enough. And so if you're having an issue with, your health, your weight, whatever it is, this is a good time because things are turning around. So I asked Peter if I could just share for a moment about the process we're going through while everybody's together. And it's very important for all of you because you've been committed to Zervita for a long, long time, its products, and then you've been around with all the announcements and things like that. And then you probably, if you haven't yet, you heard that Zurvita is in a restructuring process. Now, this is part of the merger, okay? Let me just emphasize that. We are not shutting our doors. We are not walking away from our bills. We're not quitting paying commission payments. We're not going to quit producing Zeal, burn, cleanse, the protein, all those products. We will continue on. And not to get into a bunch of stuff, but this was a necessary process for the merger to be completed. Okay. That's just the best way to say it. People can take it what it is. It's a very public process, a very regimented process. And guys, I'll just leave it at this. We were a public company at one time. I don't know if you knew that. Our stock traded, they called it a pink sheet. In other words, it wasn't like we were Apple Computer or somebody, but it was costing us about $75,000 a month to keep that public shell around the company. And it just wasn't doing anybody any good. So we did what we filed a Form D, this was back probably 10 years ago, and it stopped the public trading process. Well, some people continue to buy shares. Why? I don't know, but they did. So what happens, we got some angry shareholders, and they wanted us to not sell to Enzino. They wanted us to continue to just stay Zurvita and all this stuff. And so we just couldn't do that. We just knew in our guts it was time for everybody to really grow up. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean for grow up, for new opportunities, new things that were happening. So we decided to go through this process. And for many of us on the call, a Chapter 11, they call it a bankruptcy. Has negative connotations to it. So, oh, man, those guys, they ran the company in the ground. They did this, they did that. It's not that way anymore. Many companies go through this as a strategic move. And again, the end result will be to be part of Enzino, okay? Probably very quickly now, maybe within 30 days, okay? So just want you to know that. I feel very, so much affinity towards this group. I love each one of you. I can say this wholeheartedly, that because of Peter, because of all of you, Miranda does this out of the joy in her heart. Many of you have been with us so long. We're so appreciative of that. And somebody was asking me today, well, Jay, why do you, this process has been hard and difficult, and we've had to restructure some of the company. You won't see some familiar names around because it's just time for change. And so people say, why do you do this? Why don't you just go, leave it? And I tell these people, because I love everybody here too much. And I remember where God said to me, take care of the people. I remember right where I was, the minute I got on my knees and I prayed and said, okay, God, I'll do the best I can do. And I just felt like that's what I was supposed to do. And that's what we've been doing. But it's because of you. And so I look some of these faces. I've been in your homes. We've been in meetings together. We've been through a lot. And I want to tell you, I mean this. I wouldn't say this. People who know me very close know that I don't waste my words, and I don't believe in fluff, and I don't try to spin things, okay? I am telling you, your life is getting ready to change for the better. We've all been through tough times, personally, company-wide, and just business-wise, okay? I am telling you, it's getting ready to change, and you're getting ready to jump into a fast-moving stream, and it's going to be something like you've never seen before. And again, I don't mean that to pump you up. I mean that factually. I've seen what's behind the scenes. I've seen what's coming. And this is going to explode exponentially. Peter is the same way. The reason he does this, he doesn't get paid for each person that's on. It's not that kind of deal. He does it because he loves you. All right. He believes he wants you to change. He wants you to do what you need to do and become all that you can become. I know that for a fact. Peter and I, gosh, Peter, we've had some tough moments, right? In a good way. And sometimes God takes you through those moments. And so he's taken us through a lot of purification in the last 13 years. Peter and I have become very close. I will tell you, factually, he loves you. He loves you. He loves you. All right. If you need help, he would do everything he could to drive to your town and help you personally. So that's the kind of person you got behind you to help you reach your goals and become all you can be. All right. So I don't want to take much more time, Peter. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the love you put behind this. Joyce, thank you for supporting Peter. You got the toughest job of all, and we all know that. And Miranda, thank you so much for all your support, because I know you do this out of the love in your heart as well. Guys, a better day is ahead. And I mean that with everything in me. I have been so, this has been the toughest thing I've ever done, and I've even reached out to some of you for prayer, but I know that we're heading in the right direction. Okay. And it'll be good for everybody. All right. Peter, back to you.
Thank you so much, Jay. And we love you. I mean, we truly do. And most people don't know what you have done behind the scenes, staying up to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just caring about the field, caring about each and every one of us. So appreciate you. And you have blessed me for the last 13 years where I could call you one of my dearest best friends. So thank you for being on here, and thank you for your steadfast leadership. Thank you. You know, when we started this amazing 90-day challenge, it evolved to where we made this commitment. And when we made this commitment, I woke up at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and God gave me these words. And Miranda, if you could put it up on the screen, it's pretty simple, but yet it's profound, because if you embody this, if you believe in these next 90 days, then you're going to manifest being that best version of yourself so far. So you can say it wherever you are right now, but I would like to remind each and every one of you, and many of you have been with me for the last 13 years or 10 years, but really, I believe God pierced my heart one morning, because it's one thing to work out or to say it. It's another thing to really believe it and to make a declaration where you put your foot in the sand and you draw that line. And what God brought into my heart was, I make a pledge to myself and the body, the one model year that God has given me that I live in, to make healthy, everyday choices and to start from within. I promise to properly nurture, uplift, and care for me, for my health. If I can't be the CEO of my body, I fail for my family, for my business, for my friends. To grow in spirit, strength, and confidence. Today, 2025, in January, on Wednesday, the 8th, I take an oath to believe in myself and to challenge myself with the abilities that God has given me. We all have one mind, one body, and boy, oh boy, it's not a dress rehearsal. We only have one life here on earth to live. And I commit to me, to God, to my family, to live with purpose. And that is what my hope is for each and every one of you. And to do that as a group tonight, to do that as an individual, as a family, you need to make that commitment between you and between God. And preparation is everything. And when I say preparation is everything, is that many times people will pray for their whole life, and they'll pray for something they desire. And it's almost like a Super Bowl. You know, you have this amazing pass, you're a receiver, you're in the end zone, but you didn't prepare. The ball is coming like 50 yards, your hands are in the air, and it goes right through your arms because you didn't prepare for the blessing. You didn't prepare for what God has in store for you. There is a due date for each and every one of you to live the life that you're destined to live. Some of us have been praying for 10, 20, 30 years, and we give up right before the prize. So all I can say is preparation. And I see one of my dearest friends, Jamie Yant, who's a champion in himself. He's a great father, a great husband. I love the Yants. But he knows preparation because he's won state and national titles when it comes to powerlifting. And me, bodybuilding, winning 50 bodybuilding titles, I didn't just sit on the couch eating Haagen-Dazs ice cream and saying, okay, God, just make me Mr. Universe or Mr. America. It was the years of preparation for the 10 minutes of me getting on stage, winning, and raising that trophy that's literally behind me right now. So again, as we walk through this 2025 90-day challenge, I just want each and every one of you to prepare. And as your coach, what I want to do is I want to give you that preparation. So Miranda, if you could go to the next slide after preparation, that would be awesome. And it's this one. And it's for many of you that know me, I'm like your health conscious. I'm kind of like for some of you, I'm your nightmare. And I want to just thank Herschel for being on here. I love that man, and some people don't understand him, but he's a good soul and a solid man who had 2 stents put in his heart not even a week ago. And all I can say is that God is giving him grace as he gives each and every one of us. I flatlined 21 years ago and I was in a coma for 4 days. I was gone for over 3 minutes. It wasn't me, it was him that gave me grace. So we all need to take care of our model year, our bodies. And the way we can start this for next week is for the next 7 days, you need to get it together. You need to clean your cupboards. You need to get rid of the Cocoa Pebbles. You need to get rid of the ice cream in the refrigerator. You need to get rid of, and I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this one, you need to get rid of heavy artery clogging, saturated fat, a heart attack on a plate, cheese and dairy products. That's just nothing but saturated artery clogging fat. It's not me saying it, it's medical science. The best way to do it is, here we are in the winter for many of us, and go into your cupboards. And if you have, excuse my expression, garbage and crap in there, box it up, bring it to the Salvation Army, bring it to a soup kitchen, bring it to people that are starving, that need to eat something. And you be blessing not only them, but you be blessing your life by eliminating that garbage. And really, to set yourself up for success, you need to clean potential temptation. When you think about it every day, we're tempted on whether it's social media, who's coming at us sexually, who's coming at us with different business deals. God has nothing to do with chaos, with darkness, with confusion, with anxiety, with stress. So I used to tell my daughters, who are now grown up and they're married, and I'm a grandfather to both of them, at the end of the day, if you don't have peace when you put your head down to the pillow, God has got nothing to do with it. So clean your cupboards. And the next thing is, something that my wife Joyce does for me, and I am so blessed to have her in my life. And the next slide is all about meal prepping. And meal prepping, studies have found that meal prepping leads to more food variety over the week. It's also less expensive than basically constantly using DoorDash or going fast fooding. So portion control is one of the biggest important factors. When you're prepping, it helps people maintain healthy body weight and actually lose a few pounds. If you prep your foods, it's easier not to eat the garbage, but to also eat the right amount. My wife, every Sunday, she spends maybe a quarter of the day. She may put on some music or listen to a podcast, and she's in the kitchen in her space, in her world. The kids can be there or not, and she is basically planning out the whole week. She has these little Tupperware kind of like plastic containers or whatever, and they got compartments in. So you can only utilize about 4 to 5 ounces of animal flesh every day. So whether it's sliced turkey or chicken breast or fish, whatever, she puts that and she weighs that. So it's idiot proof. So when I go into the refrigerator and I'm hungry, and you should be eating and grazing every, say, 2 to 3 hours. So when I go in there and I'm the word beyond hungry, I'm famished, I just have to literally take out this square little container and I am in heaven. She puts colorful vegetables in there, fibrous, complex carbohydrates. She puts some sauerkraut in there, which has pre and probiotics that helps break down and help the bad guys, the bad bacteria, with the good guys that are in the sauerkraut. So these are just suggestions. And also, just to put a period at the end of the sentence, it literally is going to save you money. Like I said a moment ago, if you're just helter-skeltering this and you're not focusing on meal prepping, you're going to go out and you're going to DoorDash. And before you know it, you can get something from Beyond Juice, a juice, and you can get a roll-up sandwich where if you went in there, it would cost maybe $10. But because of DoorDash and delivery and service charge for that same thing, because you're in a rush and you haven't planned, you're spending $28. This is a fact. I know it personally because at times, I'm traveling and it's like I don't have Joyce preparing stuff. So even me as a professional athlete, you can go sideways real quick if you're not meal prepping. So one of your things for homework for the next 7 days is to clean your cupboards out and to meal prep. And then the next thing that I want to talk about this week, which is very important to get us started, is measurements. And all you really need, if anyone has ever had our transformation system over the years, Jay and I and our team, we put together an actual measuring tape. Hello, it's there to use. So if you don't have one, you could pick something up at the store for $1 or $2. You could, use that. But when you measure your body, it's a useful way to track your progress. And it's so important to ensure accuracy and to measure exactly the same place and under the same conditions each time that you do it. And all you have to do is do your before measurements now. The deadline, and I'll say it later on as well, the deadline is next Tuesday. So I'm going to tell you where to send your before pictures and your before measurements. But I want to go over some really quick tips when it comes to measurements. You want to measure your different extremities. So your chest, and you can see the picture. You want to go mid-chest, around your back, making sure it's even. You could use a mirror to make sure. And you take it from the fullest part of your chest, usually around the middle part. Then you go to your waist, right around your belly button, or maybe say 2 inches, above or below. And you just get the narrowest part of your waist. Everyone is biomechanically a little different, but measure the most narrowest part of your waist around your torso, and that is going to basically be your waist measurement. Document it, journal it. That's your before. You're going to send that to me. Your hips, place the measuring tapes across the widest part of your hips and your glutes, your buttocks, so that we get a full circumference of exactly what your hip measurements are. And you're keeping that tape parallel to the floor so it's not lopsided. And then we go to the next slide, and it just continues to your thighs, your calves, your upper arms, which is your triceps, your biceps, which is above your elbow, your forearm, measuring around the largest part of your arm, which is between your elbow and your wrist, your neck, you measure around the largest part of your neck. And then I think we have one more slide. You do this in front of the mirror to make sure that the tape is positioned correctly. And don't let the scale get you down. And what I mean by that is a lot of times a person will get neurotic when they're looking to lose or facilitate excess body fat. And all I can say is that the scale is good to use on day one, like today. Document your weight. And you can do that once a week. I wouldn't do that every morning, because for women going through their menstrual cycle, you could literally gain and retain 1 to 7 pounds during that time of the month. If you had too much salt, you could do the same thing. So the mirror will never lie. The scale will be misleading, and sometimes there has been people that have quit because they started seeing the scale go up, but what they didn't realize is as we go through the weeks, you're going to be gaining lean tissue, muscle, which burns twice as many calories as fat does. So all I can say is that don't let this be a mind screw. Let's just get better together and truly understand you're measuring, you're taking pictures. The picture should be a picture in the same clothes, somewhat fitted, a front picture, a left side, a right side, and then a rear back picture. And if you want to go to the next slide, we can do that as well. And again, just to recap on what we're talking, because this was a kickoff. Next week, we are going to get into, no pun intended, the meat and potatoes of nutrition. We're going to get into the detoxing. We're going to get into meal planning. We're going to get into macronutrients. But right now, your focus needs to be tunnel vision. And you need to clean the cupboards, and you need to meal prep, and you need to take your measurements. And if I could just stay right there for a moment, because many people will email me, and this is where the enemy gets in their ear. Oh, Peter, I'm 40 pounds overweight, but my kids, my kids, they're not going to eat what I'm eating. So I'm going to keep the potato chips in there, and I'm going to keep the soda pop and the Kool-Aid in the refrigerator. And, I'll be able to deal with that. Time out. Nope. You need to create unity in your house. And you need to be a walking, talking billboard example of how you should eat. And I say this with love, and some people may think I'm 10 cents short of a quarter what I'm about to say. My children, until they were double digits, didn't know that eggs were yellow, scrambled eggs, because they only had egg whites. My kids never ever had a piece of red meat until they were double digits. They had buffalo, they have ostrich, the other red meat that had very low saturated fat, had more protein. My children never knew that there was white bread. They always thought that bread was tan in multigrain, in multi whole wheat. So my point is that lead by example. Our children, our siblings, they're watching us like a TV, especially the people that are in denial. And I'm talking to everybody here. There's people that may be on here that don't even know why you're on here. You may be defiant right now as I'm talking, but all I can say is that my hope, my prayer, who has ever invited you on here is going to cut you, and you're not even going to know you're bleeding because you may have hypertension, you may have diabetes, you may be 60 or 70 pounds overweight, and you may say, I tried everything. This is not a diet. The first three letters of the word diet spell die. This is a healthy regimen that you're going to learn for the rest of your life and tweak it accordingly. So again, if you can just open up your mind and your spirit and allow this newness to come in without being closed, then we're going to really do well together. Once you take your measurements, once you take your pictures, I want you to go to and email them to peter@peternielsen.com to register. And take your before pictures and email your measurements and photos, putting your name and in parentheses, before pics in the subject line. That will help my team out immensely. And then mindset, I talked about preparation is everything and making a commitment. And if you could go to the next and last slide, Miranda, who is just, I just got to give credit where credit is due. Miranda is amazing. When I heard and Jay said that I can work with her, she just gets it. She's not doing this for any other reason that she loves each and every one of you. And I just thank you. I can't even articulate in words on how much I'm appreciative and I'm grateful. The fuel for thought word of the week is adapt to change. People that don't change are people that don't grow. People that don't grow are people that are dead on arrival. They just don't know it yet because they're going through the motions. People that adapt to change are people that truly are learning lessons. Yeah, you may be going through the fire. You may be in the valley right now. But what do I always say? All the growth is in the valley. It's not on the mountaintops. The mountaintops is for show. It's to edify you. It's your reward. It's my Mr. Universe or Mr. America trophy. But that is so small compared to all the change that I needed to go through my entire life. So as we leave this call, what I say to each and every one of you, are you ready? Are you willing? Are you going to make a commitment to you? I'm here just to love on you. I'm going to work out each and every day, and I'm going to eat good at the breakfast, lunch, and dinner table, whether you talk to me or you don't, whether you like me or you don't, because I want to live the most quality-filled life that I possibly can, because there's no perfect person, and I was born with a physical challenge that has now tried to kill me twice. And I want to pay it forward and to love on you, to sow into you in 2025. And each week, it's just going to be news you could use. And what I want to also say is that before I give it back to Miranda, is that I was talking to Jay earlier, and there's going to be 3, once you do the after pictures and the after measurements, and I'm talking to you right now because there's people in here in this group that started but didn't finish. Life happens. Many of us, we go in the weeds, we go sideways. I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you, complete this 90 days because it could truly ignite a spark on the inside to create an inferno that can change the course of your life and put more quality so you could do and enjoy life with the people that you truly love. That's what it's all about. That's what living a purpose-filled life is. There's a lot of things I could have done, even with Zervita 13 years ago. I went with my pastor to meet Jay and a bunch of people. And when I got on the plane, my pastor said, "What do you think?" He said, he says, "You're at the top of your game." He says, "Zervita is just a baby. They're just a baby." I said, "I feel like God is calling me to be a part of this mission to help them." And over the last 13 years, it has been nothing but a blessing. And I love my life. And the most beautiful thing, and Jay gets this, and he really kind of, he could have easily put shackles on me and it probably wouldn't have worked. And all I had to do is be Peter. So my point in saying that is, I just want you to be the best version of you. And you can't live a purpose-filled life unhealthy. And now we are in the process of going into a new chapter, and we have amazing products. We have our flagship product, Zeal. We have this amazing balance oil by Zenzino. And the reason why this is good is everything in life is about inflammation. The Crohn's disease wants to kill me because of inflammation. Heart disease wants to kill people because of inflammation. Cancer wants to kill people because of inflammation. Oral health, it's inflammation. This has got polyphenols, triple virgin olive oil, omega-3s, vitamin D. So there's an important ratio between a omega-6 and omega-3, and you need to be in a balance. So now we actually are part of this amazing company that you can actually take a test instead of guessing. So many people take supplements and they just think that they're doing great and they're spending hundreds of dollars and they take a test and they're freaking out because their omega-6 is off the charts with inflammation and their omega-3 is not where it should be. So I leave with this as we go through this journey together, these next 90 days. Knowledge is power. So make sure that you show up, finish what you started. That's what my hope and my prayer is. There's going to be 3 winners. I'm going to look at with Jay and with the team the after pictures as well as measurements and your story. I want you to tell me, about your journey. And then we're literally, Jay and I talked, this afternoon, and the first prize will get most of our products like a transformation system on how that looks. I'm sure with our balance oil, but they'll also receive a recumbent bicycle, which is pretty amazing. And they'll get a one-on-one macronutrient meal plan Zoom with me, your coach. Second prize will be basically a transformation system with your balance oil for a month period of time. And then third prize will be a month supply of your favorite flavor of zeal. So this is up to you, each and every one of you. I mean, I'm looking and I'm seeing that a lot of people have shown up. We were very quiet for some while. We went through change. But as I mentioned, the word of the week, you need to adapt to change. Jay and the team, myself, and each and every one of you that are on the Zoom, you're adapting to change. And most of the most wonderful things that have ever happened in my life were when I was freaking out because I was getting out of my comfort zone, my black fuzzy slippers. And God says, get in the water, get wet to get over there. And I was like, I'm fine, God. You've showered my life with uncommon favor. You've blessed my socks off. I'm good. And God saying, no, that was 5 years ago, blessings. I'm not done with you. And what I leave with, God's not done with you either. God's not done with you, Herschel. God's not done with you, Canvas. God's not done with you, Miranda. God's not done with any one of us. So all I can say is that I am privileged, I'm honored to literally go into 2025 with you with fresh bread. Pastor Paul, who is my spiritual dad, who just passed about 6 months ago, he blessed me. He was the only one, 135 pounds, 5'5", sopping wet, and he's the only one that was able to call me to the mat when I got too full of self, too full of flesh. And all I can say is that as we go into this year, Pastor Paul always said to me, God will always give you fresh bread. And what he meant was fresh bread coming out of the oven, new ideas, new dreams, new visions, new people, new relationships, new opportunities. That's what my hope is. That's what I know my dearest friend Jay's hope for each and every one of you is. So I turn it back to you, Miranda. And again, I just thank you for co-hosting this with me. You make my life truly a pleasure when you do this with us. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, I have one little kind of correction, confession. I don't know. Yes, I am here because I love all of you dearly, but I want to pledge something to all of you right now. This time I'm actually here more for myself. So I've always participated and I've done it a lot because I love you and everything. But, you know, in 2025, and I'm not a New Year's resolution person, but I have decided to really put myself first. And to do that, there's changes that I need to make. So I'm on the journey with you. I've done it before and I love it. I want to touch on a couple quick things. I've had people ask me, why are you guys doing this right now in the midst of change and everything like that? And I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, there's not a better time to do this. We can only control what we can control. And right now, we have control over our health and the direction we choose to go.
Amen.
So one other thing that I want to clarify is people keep asking, well, Miranda, where are you going in the process? I don't know how it's going to look, but I can tell you another thing. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going where God takes me. So in the merger, if my position changes or whatever, this is different. This is a pledge and I am here and I will not go a day without these products. So I just want you guys to know that things are going to happen. No control over that. I've got control over me and this is where I choose to be. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Another thing that I want to address is I'm so happy to see so many of you. I was not a perfect parent like Peter. My daughter did believe that bread was tan, but I did sneak a few things in there from time to time. However, I've raised her around this community. You all have helped me raise my daughter, and she's 17 now, and her best friend are going to do the pledge with us. And it's because she's heard me. So Sam, when I see you here with Mark, like Candace and Haley, you're on here, Laura and Herschel, it is a family thing. I'm never going to be Joyce and meal prep for Peter because that's just too big of a job for me. But you know what? It is beautiful when you can make that decision together, and it makes it easier. So this is what it's going to lead into right now. I want to encourage you to do a couple of things. I've already bought all my stuff to make the detox drink because we know how good it is. Find out where you can get that fresh turmeric, right? None of the powdered stuff, all this. Clean out those cupboards. Do what you need to do to get into the right preparation mode for this, okay? But get an accountability partner. Yes, it might be your husband right next to you, or, you know, somebody. We've always got Leslie and Nick, you know, together. I'm going to have my daughter, but we can lean on each other through this group. And we also have an opportunity to put recipes out there. I love that Joyce puts her recipes in there. You know that sometimes I throw my recipes in there. I love making Zurge crusted salmon. I love doing healthy alternatives. That's a way that we hold each other accountable, but we make it fun. So I want to challenge you. Put those recipes together, because like some people say, it can be boring, or if you don't know what to cook or how to cook, that's where we come together as a community, lift each other up, and then we can have fun with it. I mean, I was telling Peter, we can have challenges. We can vote for the best recipes. We can challenge people, tag people to do it. But when you're involved and you're celebrating every little win, that's when you can make it to the finish line. The last thought that I have, 90 days, okay? Oh my goodness. I remember when I did discipleship training and I'm like, over a year, what? It was so easy because I stayed involved. So if you're one of those people that are going, 90 days, that's a long time and everything, what was in the very first part that we talked about? It's a lifestyle change. So I'm praying for each and every one of you that your life lasts longer than 90 days, right? So why would 90 days even be an issue? This is a lifestyle change. 90 days is awesome. We just got to keep showing up every week. And if for some reason life gets in the way and you can't catch a call live, they will be recorded, okay? So we'll put them on Facebook, we'll blast them out to you, but it's just up to us to stick it out and make this the best, most successful 90-day challenge. And in doing that, there is still time to invite more people, right? And like we said, we've even got more products. So people have asked me, like, are you sad about what's going on? And I remember when my favorite restaurant closed, I was devastated because I'd gone there for over 20 years. I'm not devastated. This is like if my favorite restaurant moved locations and upgraded the menu, okay? This is all good stuff. So that's my heart. That's where I'm at. I'm always available. And if anybody has any of these fun watches, Patty, Carson, you and I need to sync up again. We can hold each other accountable that way also. So that's all I've got. Peter, I love you with my whole heart and soul. Jay, oh my gosh, you're just the best man ever. And all of you, I love you so much. And I'm really excited and looking forward to next week. So that's all I got. All right. If you guys want to unmute, oh, my alarm went off. If y'all want to unmute and say goodbye, now's the time.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Okay, Peter, Miranda, thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Good night.
Love y'all.
Thank you, guys.
Good night, y'all.
Bye.
Peter,
Bye. Good
anytime you
night.
want, brother.
Thank you guys. Have a good
Good night,
evening.
all.
Good night.
Haley.
Bless you guys.
Peter, Jay,
Bye.
Miranda, thank you guys.
Love you, Herschel.
Good
Love
night.
you, girl.